Hey friends, it's Shauna from glittergiftsandmore.com. I make glitter tumblers. I sell glitter, ready-to-use water slides, and all kinds of gifty kind of items. If you have a second, head on over and check it out. I appreciate it. We're going to do a quick video of how I created this Sunset Beach Tumbler, which I actually just did a different video on the same style tumbler, just showing the difference a couple of glitter changes can make. I used the Mod Podge method for glittering my tumblers. So this tumbler's already been prepped and spray painted white. I'm using matte Mod Podge, making sure it's nice and smooth, and then we'll start adding our glitters. The first glitter that I use is Golden Glam, which is basic gold glitter. Then I'm going to move into, from there we're going to go into Frozen Fairytales. Now when I'm doing my ombre, I tilt the cup down so some of the gold sprinkles down into the next color, although a lot of this won't matter so much since we're going to be adding that white epoxy on top. So the next color is Frozen Fairytales, and I'm sprinkling into where the gold fell down, and then I'm tilting the cup again so that the Frozen Fairytales sprinkle down into the next color. It's totally up to you how much of each color you want. Next time, I had to make a note because I didn't want to forget, next time I'm totally adding Playful Purple as the next color, and I didn't do it on this cup, but I absolutely 100% will. It's going to be gorgeous. So if you decide to try this, trust me, add Playful Purple in between Frozen Fairytales and Petal Pink, and you will not regret it. It will be gorgeous. I just wish I would have thought of it before instead of as an afterthought. Anyways, Petal Pink is the next color. Now on the cup I did last week, I used Fab Fuchsia here, which is a deeper purple, deeper pink. So just changing out a couple of colors makes all the difference in getting a totally different tone for this tumbler. So after Petal Pink, we go into Sherbert Shake, and we're going to end with the ever gorgeous Sweet Sunset. The sparkle in these glitters are beyond words. I absolutely adore this cup. And if you've seen the sparkle in person, you would totally understand. So we're going to let this dry. I dry brush off all the excess glitter. Every video I do this in, I mention that I don't know where I got the brush from. I cannot find the brush. I've spent hours Googling and searching. I promise you I have tried. I cannot find it. So I'm sorry. But any hard bristle brush will do. You're just pulling excess glitter off. And if you don't want to do this step, you can always seal your glitter with a clear acrylic spray too. So keep that in mind. You don't have to dry brush. You can seal your glitter and get the same result. I'm so sorry. My kid's school just tried calling in, but I'm totally not redoing this voiceover, so I apologize. Just ignore that. We declined the call. I kept my kids home today from school, so I'm sure they're just calling to tell me they were absent. Anyways, second layer matte Mod Podge goes right over the first layer. You got to make sure it's as smooth as possible. As you can see, it is not there, which I caught and smoothed it out. Start again with Golden Glam. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing over the fact that the school called me now of all times. So Golden Glam, tilt to get the sprinkle down. I know my glitter caps are always in the way. I apologize. Next color is supposed to be Frozen Fairytales. Wait for it, ready, and give it a minute. Right there. Damn it. Yep. Oops, felt that one. We'll fix it. It's fine. We're going to mash in some Frozen Fairytale on top of that Petal Pink that wasn't supposed to be there. But again, this is when I'm breathing that sigh of relief that white epoxy is going to go over these areas. So it's not the end of the world. I am kicking myself though. You gotta believe it. I am kicking myself. So now we're going into Petal Pink. And keep in mind, if you decide to try this cup, Playful Purple, I promise you, you will not regret it. Playful Purple should come after Frozen Fairytales and before Petal Pink. It will make, oh my goodness. Just wait. I'm gonna make one. You'll see pictures. Sherbert Shake was next. Ran out of plates, so we're going to dump that glitter in and finish up with Sweet Sunset. The sparkle in Sweet Sunset, I know I said it in the last video that I did too, but Sweet Sunset, I swear to goodness, is like, oh, so gorgeous. So now we're going to remove the tape. I do that while the glitter is still wet, and then I pat down the seams to make it a little bit easier to epoxy. And we ignore that spot of petal pink we keep seeing down there and just know, thank goodness, we are adding the white epoxy. So after that dried, we did dry brush it to pull off the excess glitter, and now we're going over it with a coat of epoxy. And this is the first step in moving towards doing the beach look on the tumbler. We want to make sure it is somewhat smooth. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want to epoxy it before we go on to the next step, which will be adding the white epoxy. And that next to it is the tumbler we did last week. I know you guys had a sneak peek of this because I was doing both videos at the same time. So if you look at the difference, the tumbler on the right has Beauty Berry, Fab Fuchsia, and Sweet Sunset. The bottom glitter was Daydream, which is very similar to Golden Glam. I mean, there's just a little bit of differences, but you get a totally different feel by just changing out a couple of the glitters and lightening up the cup a little bit. So now we're moving on to add the white epoxy. We're adding a thin layer of epoxy on top of the cured first layer. So this is after that first layer is cured. We're adding a thin layer of clear epoxy on top. And then we're going to start drizzling in, and I'm going to do both cups simultaneously again, so you've seen, I mean, same video in both YouTube tutorials. So I apologize, but you can speed it up, fast forward it, you know what's going to happen. But I didn't cut out the beginning this time. Last time I cut out the beginning of adding the white, so you'll see what you missed the last time. So we're just adding the white epoxy. I keep clear epoxy on hand as well. Once I add the white epoxy, I start hitting it with heat. Now at this point, it is totally up to you on what you like. The movement in the white epoxy, the illusion of the waves in the water, is totally up to you. If you want it whiter and stronger, like a more opaque white, add less heat. If you want it more of a translucent white, add more heat. Put in, right now I'm drizzling in some white, or I'm sorry, some clear epoxy to break up some of the white and add a little bit of movement. This is all up to you. There is no wrong way to do this as far as the look you're getting and the look you're looking for. You can also take the white epoxy all the way up into the sunset and have it be clouds. There is no limit. I mean, it's honestly, it's artistic. It's what you want. It's what you like. And I think I do cut some of this out because you get the basic idea. I do sometimes change the motors on my turners to go the opposite way if I want to add a little bit more movement. And I will also go in there, and I know this is in the video as well, I'll go in there with my gloved finger and pull some of the white, like if it's going too far into the gold and I don't want it that far, I will use my gloved finger to push it back up and to create a little bit more movement in it, which you'll see in the video, but it'll be a little bit still. So it's just alternating between heat, white epoxy, clear epoxy, and moving the two together to get the look you're going for. And this isn't the last coat of epoxy, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You're still going to epoxy again, add a decal, all of the fun things. So really this is just about getting the look that you like. Okay, so after this, we let the epoxy cure, and I add my decals, and then I put a couple of layers of quick coat on it, and I do that because this holographic vinyl hates me. I don't know if it's true holographic, it might be a opal. Either way, this vinyl hates me with a passion, and it lifts. So the quick coat, couple of layers to make sure it's really down there nice and snug before I add my final layer of epoxy is a lifesaver. So that is what we're doing now. I only show one coat, but I believe I did two. And this is the final cup. And actually, I think I've got 3 different clips of the final cup because the sparkle is just so pretty. I mean, the sparkle is so gorgeous, I couldn't decide which one to cut out. So if you've made it this far, you get to enjoy all 3 different twists of the final cup. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I appreciate you watching. If you have a minute, go on over, check out glittergivesomemore.com. Small business couldn't be around without you, so I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with me. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much, guys.